Hello, friends. Not just on, I guess, YouTube, but all throughout the world. Whether or not you can actually see this, or if a friend tells you about it later on at some date in the future, being any time from an hour from now, whenever this should hopefully be uploaded, to fucking years from now. I want to welcome you to the first official video of the Vox Populi movement. Now, for any of you who know Latin, congrats to you. I barely know anything. But Vox Populi means the voice of the people, or voice of the people, however you want to perceive it. And the point of this movement is to give people who don't have a voice, who cannot stand up for themselves, a voice. I have wanted this, I have wanted something like this in some form since I was maybe 6 to 7 years old. And what this is a means to unify all of the peoples of the world, for everyone to understand one another, for everyone to probably, hopefully, get along. You don't have to speak the same languages, you don't have to have the same beliefs, you don't have to have the same choice of, I'm gonna say, what gender you prefer to be with. You know, everyone is welcome. Everyone is understood. Everyone can be related to. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of it not happening. A lot of it understanding. There's, you know, I don't understand why it's so hard. See, I myself have things I don't understand. I'm just another human being. I'm just another person who wants to be happy. That's my major inspiration for this, is happiness and unity. And just for everyone to be able to live together in peace. Which, you know, being able to find common ground is the main reason of my choice of location for recording this. My name is Timothy Allen Ashworth. I am a resident of Owensboro, Kentucky. I am consistently unemployed for some reason, and I'm consistently homeless. You know, and I am I'm gonna say, I'm on a second hill in a cemetery, Elmwood Cemetery. Now, if you're wondering why a cemetery, it's because we all share a common fate. Everyone here, they get along just fine. They all understand one another. You know, they have all suffered through lives. There's no reason for them to hate one another. They might have in life, but together in death, everything adds up to nothing in death. Your life, your dreams, all of it. Whether or not you achieved them, nothing matters, except for being happy. Any of you out there who are watching this, are any of you happy? Are you happy with your life? Are you truly happy? Are you doing what it is that you want to do? Do you understand your fellow man? Do you all share a common goal? Can you all live in peace? Can you? I hope that you take from this as me trying to help you understand that it doesn't matter, rich, poor, young, old, black, white, Asian, any of it. I don't care what country you're from. You all end up here. Not exactly in this exact cemetery, but you all do end up in death. We all die. That is one common thing that we all have in common, I guess, to use the word common a lot.
Yep.
Is that we're all gonna die. Why fight it? Why care? Because happiness is a thing. It all adds up to this. Everything in your life. Your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your mistakes, your regrets, your fears. All of it adds up to this. It is 5/19/2013. basically 4 p.m. It is a humid day, and that is a wonderful breeze.
Yeah, it is.
I'm here with a friend of mine.
And fellow supporter.
One of the many chords of the voice that you maybe, hopefully in the future, will be enjoying part of. If we're going to be the voice of the people, we are truly the vocal cords. This is a special place for me and some of my friends. We had come here, we would talk out loud, we would vent to one another, we would talk about our dreams, what we wanted. We would go around, we would look at graves that have been vandalized, and we would fix them. Because the people who have already lived, the people who have died, some giving their lives for things they believe in, some trying just to be happy. They don't deserve disrespect and death. They really don't. I don't care what they did in life. They've paid their dues. They are now dead. They had a life in some way or form. And if you go to cemeteries, if you watch this and you go to cemeteries in your time before now, I'm going to ask you to stop going to desecrate, if that's what you do. If you go to understand who these people were, how long they lived, what they did maybe, if they had families, then do that. It's a form of understanding your fellow man or woman who has already passed on. You don't get to talk to them, yes. Well, some of you might, if you're especially gifted. But, there's no better way than to find a common ground, to find something you have in common, to find a way to understand one another, than to actually listen, read, or learn. And that's what we've done here several times. My partners in crime. If this amounts to anything, the Vox Populi movement, then I want you to understand that it was done by just normal people. Everyday people are what make the difference. Not soldiers, not politicians. That's just a label or a job given to these people. They're everyday human beings. They're citizens like yourselves that just want to be happy. And they do what they have to be happy. I guess the point of the movement is that I just want you all to learn. I want you to all understand, to all have something that you can understand of one another. Whether it be a common trait, a hobby, anything, a job, grievances you have with society or your own life, any of it. Just find something you have in common. Be an individual, but try to be happy. Don't impose on someone else's life to make it miserable, just trying to be happy. Don't do that. If you have to cause pain and misery in someone else's life just to be happy, you're not doing it right. Some would say that it's a fact of life that one cannot be happy without someone else's pain. I beg to differ. We can all find a way to be happy. We just have to understand one another. Religions, race, gender, personal preference of who you lay in bed with, none of that matters. You're all humans. You all want to be happy. You all want to find a place where you fit in. And with the Vox Populi movement, you can. We're not asking you to stand up and defy anything like that. We just want you to understand. We want you to learn. We want you to see what it is that society and labels and groups have done, what they have done to humanity, and what they have done to the earth. This is the one planet we have. This is all we have. This is all we've got. And what we've done to it and the things on it are atrocious. I get it. We have to survive and all that, but how would you like it if someone came into your house, tore it down to get at your children so that they could eat them? How would you feel about that? You know, that's, you know, it's just, it's ridiculous. People don't understand how much they actually have in common with nature and with each other. Now, you're wondering why we move around. It's for a change in scenery.
And shade in this case.
Yes. I'm not wealthy in any way, with the exception of having friends who, they believe in me, I believe in them, we are loyal to each other, we value each other's friendship. If we give our word on something, we keep it. We don't flake off. Those of you who know me and watch this for some whatever reason, and you do flake, and you don't keep your word, you know who you are. You might not realize it yet, but you know who you are. I hope that someday I can maybe change someone's life for the better. You know, I just want to unite you people. I just want you to understand one another. I want you to live happy lives. I want you to live fulfilling lives. I want you to enjoy it. You know, there's a difference between living and just being alive. I'm not living. I'm just alive. This isn't what I do right now, how I am. It's nothing. It's not what I want. It just is a thing. And it's sad. You know, it's disturbing, even, in some cases. Not just mine, but what other humans have to suffer through, because we don't understand one another. War, poverty, forms of slavery, physical and economic, both. You know, persecution, all of it. Racism, a blatant lack of understanding. It's disgusting. It really is. But it's the way that people are. I understand that. I can see where everyone comes from. Religions, groups, factions, whatever. I can understand all of them because I can keep my mind open. I don't close it off. And I surround myself with people who are the same way. Because when I don't, that's when I start to lose sight of things. Judgment gets clouded, things happen, mistakes are made, and life is regretted. I did not see this earlier. Okay.
Good?
Yeah, for a minute. "79 years. Impressive. Love you.
Thank you.
Let's move down a little bit. Now, if you would be as of so kind to enjoy this shade right here. Right in this area here. Where some of the best shade is at. It's also where you'll be able to catch the breeze still.
Good?
Yep.
By the way, we're at 14.
Yep. Some of you might be wondering, what's the inspiration behind this? Why? Why are you doing this? Why are you saying these things? Why do you want to change things? Because I love history and I love science, both of which involve nature, both human and otherwise, and understanding things. I understand that life isn't the way that it should be. We're not as advanced as we should be. You know, for about 20 years, society advanced at such a rapid pace that everyone thought by now we'd already be in outer space on a different planet. And we are not. Why is this? because certain groups have been designed to hold us back because it is profitable for them, or because they don't like certain groups, or because they just refuse to understand one another. This is unacceptable. I've known these things since I was a very small child, and I have wanted change for a very long time. And a lot of inspiration for this, some of you might know this name, George Carlin, one of the greatest comedians and human beings ever, period. The man was, I don't think of anyone else as a hero except for him. You know, he's the only person I would ever consider a hero. Not my parents, not some president, not some athlete. None of that matters. George Carlin, he truly grieved for society. He really did. He was sad that things were the way that they were. That they still are, and that they're getting worse. They're declining even more. And he did everything he could to educate generations, to help them understand one another and understand that the game is rigged. The table is tilted and is not in our favor. By our favor, I mean us as a species and as just individuals and citizens in general. The game is rigged against us. And I do not agree with this. Within recent times, those of you who know, who are aware, a movement called Occupy happened. This, in fact, was a historical thing, in that it was many different peoples from many different places, all with different understandings. They could all reach a common goal. They were not happy with life and the corruption that came with it. So, they stood up. They stood up to be a voice for the common people. And they were defied by certain groups. They were snuffed. They were silenced. And this should never happen. Not with freedom of speech being a thing. Another group that caught my eye is Anonymous. They're interesting in the fact that they are so widespread. They are so well secluded amongst society. And they understand each other so well. This is an organization of peoples who are upset by world governments and powers and know and understand that things are not the way that they should be. Things are the way they are because of human fault. Now, why? Why are they this way? Well, it's not just because of certain groups that are in power. It's because we allowed this to happen. The people, not those you see around me, they had nothing to do with this, really, truly. They've been gone a while, this particular area. No, the people alive, the people who up until recently might have been alive, they are at fault. All of us are at fault. Every one of us. All human beings are at fault. Because the powers that be dictated that we be dumb, we be divided, we be labeled, and we give labels. And it's been going on for almost a century. And it works. They divide us. They spin us on one another. Why? Because of fear. Lack of understanding means fear. Humans naturally are afraid of things they cannot or do not or will not understand. And apparently they don't understand one another. They do not understand each other. Humans cannot understand one another because they allow themselves to be afraid. They allow themselves to be controlled. Occupy, Anonymous, and George Carlin sought to change these things. And although Occupy, as a large group, has failed, Anonymous is kind of sitting in the wings waiting for something to happen that they can capitalize on, which I respect, because that's how you play the game. You play the game the exact same way those who succeeded played it. And those who succeeded, they're in power. Play the game their way, you can win. You just have to stay informed. You have to understand them and what their goals are. George Carlin tried to educate us. He succeeded in one aspect and he failed in the rest. And it actually hurts me to say that George Carlin failed. Which, if this succeeds, he didn't. Ultimately, he would have been successful. But it's up to you. All of you people out there, all of you who view this, it is ultimately up to you. Do you want better pay? Do you want money to be phased out completely? Money is debt. Debt is money. At the stock market, they actually trade debt. Human beings who have been taught to not have souls or consciousness, they trade debt. They play with your lives every day, and you allow it to happen. All of us do. But we've been brainwashed since such young ages that we refuse to understand this. We refuse to know that this is the way things are. And I'll admit, I had my problems. I was the exact same way until a certain age. And recent events have inspired me within the last year or so. Those type of events, how recent? They've inspired me to actually try to talk to you, to try and help you people understand. I'm starting in Owensboro, Kentucky, because here Occupy died almost instantaneously, literally. In some places, it's still going. They're still trying, they're still fighting. They're still trying to help you people understand one another and to try and help your lives become better. But a major problem with this is that they are too divided. They don't have common goals. Another glaring factor is that they don't have an individual who can be the voice. I'm not saying that I'm the perfect person for this job. I am saying that I choose to do this because why should I subjugate people who are willing to help me, people who are giving me their time and their energy and their resources? Why should I let them be the ones to take all of your hatred, all of your, I'm going to say, ire? I'm going to be the one who's going to openly challenge any kind of institution already in place that wishes to maintain control through fear, ignorance, and brute force. This is not a conceited gesture. I'm not doing this because I want to feel special. I don't want to feel special. I don't feel special. I just want happiness. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to understand each other and live together in peace. I don't want anyone to have to suffer through what I've done. I've been homeless. I have had my own family look at me and tell me that I am less than dirt to them. And then I've had my friends sit there and tell me that they can't believe human beings can be that way towards me, especially ones related by blood. And it is those people who I value. It is those people I love like family. It is those people that I am willing to fucking die for. I will do everything in my power for future generations and for those who are alive now to try and make life better. I know what happens whenever a figurehead of a group stands up and tries to declare peace and unity and prosperity for all humankind and is so close to achieving their goal. They're on the verge of it. And then ignorance like that kicks in. Let me give you some examples. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Ghandi, Abraham Lincoln. These people in history tried to unite everyone together to help everyone understand one another. And what did us humans do? What did we do? And to show them our gratitude? We killed them. human beings obviously aren't interested in peace. Well, certain human beings aren't. A vast majority are. And I'm here for that vast majority. So, I know what this all means. I know that there are going to be many people out there who are going to try and just rail against me and try to post as much hateful things as possible. This video by itself will probably earn about, if it becomes spread around, it'll probably have more dislikes than likes. But that's okay. That's fine. I'm going to try. I'm going to do. I am going to give my best effort. I am going to do everything I possibly can to make life better. You know, because honestly, whether you believe it or not, you guys deserve it. Everyone deserves to be happy. And if we can't all understand this, then there will be no success. There will be no peace, prosperity, and unity. There will be nothing. So, if you are with me, then please let me know. If you are not, then I'm sorry. But, till then, you guys be sure to be the change that you want to see. Be it. Do everything you can to be that change. So, I will see you in the next video.
That it?
Yeah.
All right.